Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Good Monday morning and welcome to Run It Back on FanDuel TV. If you know there are three of us, because one of us probably had a little too much fun at the Super Bowl last night, Chandler Parsons. But Charania is here, Stadium Insider Lou Will from Atlanta. Shams, let's just get into the Super Bowl situation. I know you were at the game. Did you love it?
I mean, Michelle, for me, it's number 2. So I got no qualms about it. I'm not over it. It's not like it's too much for me. It's still fresh in my mind. Now, I might feel differently, on my 5th or 6th. At that point, I'll be like, you know what? I just want to watch at home. Could be the case. TV timeouts are definitely running long. But it was fun to spend time with a lot of the FanDuel TV family. And we had a great view of the Patrick Mahomes touchdown. It literally happened right in front of me. So I was happy that I was there. It reminded me a lot of being right in front of when Ray Allen hit that 3-pointer against your Spurs.
I mean, these are not good memories.
But
bad memory.
It was just a great experience. I'm glad I got to go.
How did you stay for half? Like, were you paying attention at halftime? Did you use that as a bathroom break? How did you handle Usher?
No, of course I'm gonna watch. Of course I'm gonna watch Usher. Now there were a few songs I definitely didn't know. I'm not gonna lie to you, but a lot of his classics I was there for.
Oh, it was like an ATL reunion. I loved it.
It wasn't a song that he played that wasn't a classic, Shams. Come on, man.
The hell?
There was some new music. I don't know if I've heard yet.
No,
but
none of those songs were new, Shams. Yeah, you gotta come to the ATL with me, man.
You take me to a concert, man. Take me to a concert.
See, it was a completely different experience for me because Usher, Jermaine Dupri is a mentor of mine, so this was a personal thing for me. This was my crew of people doing the halftime Super Bowl show, so I enjoyed it thoroughly. So maybe that's why I know all of the songs, but all of those were classics, man.
I thought it was funny because Jermaine Dupri was dressed like Rev Run in like a summer outfit, and it threw me off.
He's getting a bad run today. Yeah, his sock and shoe combo is getting a bad run today.
I needed a second. I was like, is it the Dayquil, or am I not seeing this right? What'd you do, Lou? Did you chill? What was your Super Bowl setup?
I wouldn't say it was chill, but I hosted family and friends at my house. We had ourselves quite the time, and we're the type of people we prefer to watch on TV, enjoy the commercials, enjoy the halftime show. We were enjoying each other. We had our fair share of beverages in the air for us, and we just had a good time.
Refreshments, if you will. Yeah, it was a good Super Bowl. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, Vegas, I think, kicked my ace. So we'll try to come back from that sometime this week, but we'll see what happens. And by the way, I didn't even have fun in Vegas. Like, this is just strictly just being in Vegas did this to me. Screw that place, man. Screw that place. All right, let's get to some basketball because there was some NBA that happened over the course of the weekend. It's hard to believe with so much going on, but the Warriors do not look now. The things are happening. They have won 4 straight, 6 of their last 7. They're at 500 again. They're sitting in the 10th spot. They've beaten Philly twice. Grizzlies, Nets, Pacers, Suns on Saturday. Lou, you were the first one in our text thread to sort of bring up the fact that, is this happening? Is this the beginning of something for the Warriors?
Absolutely. I've always said it. They hadn't played their best basketball this year, but if there's going to be a team that's at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the Western Conference that makes a run, it's going to be the Golden State Warriors. They're battle-tested. They're a championship caliber team. They have what it takes to turn that switch on. And right now we're seeing them play some really good basketball. They're putting themselves in a position to be in that 10th spot right now going into the All-Star break. It looks like they're going to move up more than that if they can continue to play like this. But, I think the difference has been Draymond Green. Draymond has found his rhythm and being that anchor for them on defense. Offensively, he's giving them looks. They're back to the dribble handoffs, playing fast, making sure Steph get a bunch of possessions where he can come off of screens and shoot threes. And Jonathan Kuminga is giving them a lot of energy as well. And so this is going to be a team that's going to be dangerous coming out of the All-Star break. They're starting to put together a good run.
Just like the Chiefs. Dang it, Shabs. Tell me about your takeaway from the Warriors right now.
Draymond Green, I think that's my biggest takeaway. They're 7-4 since he got back in the lineup in mid-January. They're 6th in defensive rating during that time span, 6th in offensive rating during that time span. They've been really the bottom half of the league throughout the season in those categories. But since Draymond Green's been back, you've seen him rejuvenated. And I think you spend, if you're Draymond Green, about a month away from basketball. You worry about your conditioning. You worry about your game shape. But he came in and he's looked good. He's played heavy minutes on some nights, and he's gone back to that facilitator role. He's been really playing point guard at different points. He's the de facto point guard, the maestro of this team, getting Stephen Curry going, getting Jonathan Kuminga going. Those two guys have essentially become the 1-2 punch of this Warriors team. Jonathan Kuminga playing that supporting role as far as that number 2 option for Steph Curry, because a lot of this season, Andrew Wiggins has been up and down. Klay Thompson, we've talked about his struggles at different points. He's had a big game recently, but then there were also points Steve Kerr has not been afraid of benching him down the stretch of a game. And so now that aspect they're working through, they're trying to figure out his role. To me, Draymond Green being back, unlocking Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga, those two guys had some horrible stats together. The number said you can't play them, but Draymond Green has essentially unlocked that.
Well, we'll get to some more of the Draymond because he's back in a couple different ways. But the ceiling, Lou, realistically for this Warriors team, are we talking all the way? Are we talking Western Conference Finals? Like, how are you seeing this playing out?
Listen, they got a lot of really good basketball to play to put themselves in a position for us to be talking about that. You know, right now they're sitting at that 10 spot. They're a game out from the Lakers getting to 9. Dallas Mavericks have created some separation with 2.5 games up on the Lakers in that 8 spot. So they got a lot of ground to cover. So for them to be in that position, they're going to have to play some really good basketball. But if you ask me, if I'm a Minnesota, I'm the LA Clippers, and I'm playing great basketball all season, and I get rewarded with a Dallas Mavericks or a Los Angeles Lakers or a Golden State Warriors to deal with in the first round, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. But that shows the strength in numbers that the Western Conference have and the teams that they have over there and what they're capable of. But the Warriors ceiling, I think they sneak into this playoff position. They make it really difficult for somebody to advance.
Yeah, never count them out. All right, so let's go back to Saturday. Draymond and Yusuf Nurkic with a reunion of sorts, if you will. In the third quarter, you got Nurk taunting Draymond. You got Draymond responding after the game. Both of them talked about it. Here they are.
It's sad. He didn't learn anything, man. It's just a matter of time. He's going to knock somebody else again. So take everything back what I said. You don't deserve a chance.
He tried to get in my head, and it didn't work. If he want me to walk around quiet like him, I'm never going to do that. Quiet guys don't win.
I don't know what that means. Lou, what do you think? I kind of love it. Felt like a very real response, but what did you think?
I think everything is deserved with these two and the history that they've shared in this season. You know, Nurk got hit in the face. I'm probably not going to like a guy that's ever hit me in the face. And like Draymond said, he's going to be who he is unapologetically, and he's going to continue to move forward like that. And so these are probably two guys that are just not going to like each other. And every time they compete against each other, you're going to see some chirping. You're going to see a little chippiness, and that's what it's just going to be. You know, this is a personal thing at this point. And so I feel both guys, they've said their piece. They're both standing on business, and you know that's what we're gonna see coming from those two guys.
Oh, I'm excited about it. It makes me want them to play each other over and over and over again. Because when you say that guy doesn't learn anything and didn't deserve a second chance, I'm like, this might go on for a while.
Michelle, right. you know what's kind of ironic about that is that when Draymond Green, when that incident happened, and you know the league does their investigation, which Lou knows about. You talk to the players involved, you talk to people involved, the referees, etc. When they talked to Yusuf Nurkic, he told them he didn't believe Draymond Green should have been suspended. That's what I was told in the moment. And again, the heat of competition and what happened the other night, Yusuf Nurkic probably doesn't feel that way anymore. He probably believes, you know what, I think Draymond Green should have been suspended. So it was interesting in the moment when it first happened, whatever it was a couple months ago. Yusuf Nurkic was actually on the side of Draymond Green shouldn't have been suspended. I don't know how many people were in that lane, but he was.
He was trying to be cool. Like, I don't want to be the guy that says he's got to be punished. And now here we are. By the way, the big sentiment that he had was he's going to do it again. So I guess now we wait and we see if in fact that's what's going to happen. But Lou, I want to talk about Jonathan Kuminga. It feels like it wasn't that long ago where he was sort of upset with his role and what was he supposed to be doing on this team. And he has been amazing since then. He's averaging just under 24 points a game, 59% shooting. He's got the rebounds going as well. Do you think, or let me ask you this, because he's obviously somebody they can build around, but what was it that sort of unlocked whatever it is Kuminga's doing now?
I think he just got an opportunity to play. You know, they were going through a lot of different things, trying out different rotations and different game plans, and he was one of those guys that benefited from that. He was one of the guys that benefited from the chaos that they were having early in the season. You know, he put his head down and just continued to work, put himself in a position to be successful, and you're starting to see the fruits of the labor of that. And, you know, he's becoming the player that they always thought he would be. He was going to be the young up-and-coming guy that was going to give them a different look, that was going to be able to add on to, you know, these legendary careers of Draymond, Clay, and Steph. When he's playing at a high level now, do I think he's a guy to build around? As long as you got number 30 in the locker room, everything is going to be built around him. I don't see anything different happening in the foreseeable future as far as them building around Jonathan Kuminga, but he's definitely one of the great pieces that's come out of all of this, and I'm glad it's starting to happen.
Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving watching this happen. All right, let's take a closer look at the West, because we still got a few teams in there that maybe not people are buying full. But top 4 teams right now: T-Wolves, Clippers, Nuggets, Thunder. T-Wolves are leading the other 3 by about a half game there. I want to ask you, Lou, first off, which of these do you think ends up with the best record in the Western Conference?
I think Minnesota's real. I think it's time for us to give them, you know, the credit that they deserve. They're putting together a really good season. You know, they're about 50 games in now, and they're the real deal. You know, they're putting themselves in a position to be really taken serious. But I still like the Los Angeles Clippers at number 1. I still think that they put together the best second half of the season because of the firepower. You know, they have a strong basketball team from top to bottom with the guys that they put on the floor. They got a great rotation in their secondary, and those guys coming in off the bench. They put together one of the best months in basketball of everybody else in the NBA, and so I think that continues after the All-Star break. So I still like the Clippers coming out of the West.
All right, Clippers coming out of the West. When you look at those 4 teams, which of them do you have the most questions about?
4 teams I have the most questions about. It's going to be OKC, simply because they're young and they're still trying to figure it out. You know, Minnesota is young as well, but they're right there on that bumper where they have veteran guys. They have guys that have seen some different things, and you know, I think OKC they're putting themselves in a position to have a great run as well, but they lack experience when it comes to deep playoff runs, and you know, and the lack of depth that they have. Even though they have all of these young guys that's playing at a very high level, playing really well, you know, this is the first time we're going to see Chat fight through an 82-game season where you start getting to that place where, you know, you don't want to travel as much. You're not familiar with traveling and playing these games and dealing with the headaches of being on the road when you're getting tired, when you get 60 and 65 games in. Some of these young guys hadn't experienced that yet. When on the flip side of it, you know, the veteran teams, this is when they play their best basketball because they know what's expected. And so OKC is going to be that team that I'm going to question a little bit. Out of the Denvers, out of the Clippers, out of the Minnesotas, they're going to be the team that I would get a little weary about coming into the second half of the season.
Seems fair to me. Shams, we've got post-trade deadline outlook. Do you have anything you could share with us about the teams that we're talking about right now?
So we talked about the Thunder getting Gordon Hayward at the deadline last week, but they also did something else over the weekend. Bismack Biyombo, they've signed him. They're adding front court depth. And I think over the course of the entire season, we've talked about the Thunder. They're the youngest team in the league, one of the best teams in the league. What can they do? Are they going to make a major trade to add another piece, a veteran piece to the team? And, you know, I think we've discussed it. And Chandler Parsons has been a proponent of that situation as far as you can't add a veteran player right now to your core, but they've done some stuff around it, getting Gordon Hayward to come off your bench. Bismack Biyombo, that's a guy that's not going to require playing time, but he's going to play a good role. And when he does play, what he did for Memphis, 5.7 rebounds a game. So they added some pieces. Another move we didn't really get into that much last week, Minnesota added Monte Morris. He's a guy that they believe can provide a reliable ball handler. So you saw them make moves. Two teams that didn't make moves. Denver essentially stood pat. They have some youth coming off that bench. We'll see how that does in the playoffs. And the Clippers, they tried to move P.J. Tucker. They couldn't get a deal done. And so how will that P.J. Tucker dynamic play out the second half of the season? I expect him to be a professional. He's still got a player option for next season. But that is something to keep an eye on as well.
That's hurtful when they try to move you and they can't and you're still there. That sucks. That's just my 2 cents. Okay, the Cavs, guys. I keep waiting for this thing to pop, and yet here we is. Hottest team in the league, 9 straight wins, 17 of their last 18, second best record out in the East. They're 2 games ahead of the Bucks, 3 games ahead of the Knicks. I don't know when this thing starts to sort of even out, or if it starts to even out, Lou, but has anything changed your mind about what this Cleveland Cavaliers team is capable of?
No, we always knew that they were going to be a good basketball team, but they just couldn't stay healthy. Now that they have all of their pieces back, we're starting to see that. They have everybody in their natural positions playing really good basketball. They're playing at a fast tempo and putting a lot of pressure on teams out in the East, and it's being done quietly. It's not a lot of talk or not a lot of attention around the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. We're not really talking about them being one of the hotter teams that's playing basketball right now, and I think that works for them. That works for them to fly under the radar, continue to build, continue to keep guys healthy and on the basketball floor and giving themselves an opportunity to win games.
It's kind of fun to watch. Like, they're just quietly getting things done. I want to talk about the Knicks too, because they debuted their 2 new guys. Bojan Bogdanovic had 11 points. Alec Burks threw in 22 against the Pacers. Talk to me about the ceiling of this Knicks team, Lou. I know OG Anunoby's out for a few more weeks, but did the trade moves they made do anything for you as far as how far they can go?
Yeah, I think it gave them some depth, especially with Julius Randle being out a few more weeks with the shoulder injury. And, Bojan Bogdanovic, he's one of those guys that can flat out go get you a bucket. Alec Burks is another guy that can go out and get you the bucket. So I think that gives them the depth that they need to survive Julius Randle being out and continue to build forward. I think this is going to be a team that's going to have home court advantage in the East, and that's going to be big to start the playoffs, in your home court being Madison Square Garden and having that energy. And so I think these 2 guys are going to be very instrumental in that and carrying them over until Julius Randle gets back.
I love that. No rest for you, Shams. I know we just got through the trade deadline. We're already looking ahead now to summertime to see what teams are going to try to do what. Are you expecting the Knicks to try to make some moves for a superstar come summer?
Well, right now, I think you have a team full of depth across the roster. When OG Anunoby gets back, I think it's only going to reveal itself even more how deep this team is, and once Julius Randle gets back. But they've got 8 first-round draft picks. They've got a ton of second-round picks. They got a ton of draft swaps. So they're going to be aggressive to see what all-star, all-NBA type of player becomes available. They have a guy in Jalen Brunson, who from the guard position they feel they can build around, that can be their lead ball handler, their lead guy in the backcourt. Do you pair him with another big man potentially, another wing that's an all-star, all-NBA caliber player? We'll see where those conversations go, but they want to see what this team, as currently constructed, with OG Anunoby, with Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, Julius Randle, when they're all in the lineup, they want to see what this looks like, and we're gonna be able to get to see that second half of the season and the playoffs.
I'm excited for it. You know who's not excited? The Bucks. Man, oh man, oh man. Since Doc Rivers took over, they are 2-5, Lou. Is this thing going to straighten up, or is this what we're looking at now?
They just got to become a more defensive-minded team. Obviously they have all of the star power they want, and they can outscore anybody. They got a lot of guys that can put the ball in the hole, but they gotta become a defensive-minded team. This is not the East of old where you can just roll the ball out and because you have star power you can win games. There's a lot of good basketball being played right now, and Milwaukee is going to be one of those teams. But until they become a team where defense is important to them, they're going to have their struggles. They were struggling before Doc Rivers, so I don't want this to start being a thing about him. I mentioned when you hire a coach like Doc Rivers, your criticism level is going to go up because he's one of those superstar-style coaches where he's going to be criticized for things not going right. They had issues before he got there. That's how he even got the job. And so this team has to correct some of their things. You know, I think they tried to fix that and bringing in a Pat Beverly to give them some depth to go with Jay Crowder coming off of that bench for defensive-minded guys, some D and 3 guys, and I think they did a good job there. And we can't press the panic button as well. You know, they're still in the 3rd place in the East. You know, they're still playing really good basketball. 2-5 since Doc has taken over, but that takes time because Doc is going to have to put his system in. He's going to have to put in some of the things that he believes that's going to make them successful, and those things are going to take time, and it's going to be an adjustment.
Okay, just not buying it. Let's just say the Celtics are in the Eastern Conference Finals. Who's more likely to be facing them? Cavs, Bucks, Knicks.
It's tough. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing really good basketball, but again, when we start talking about deep playoff runs, when we start talking about getting to that level, you need superstar caliber guys. I think Cleveland has that. I think the Knicks have that in Brunson and Julius Randle. And I think out of those 3 teams, who would you take? Would you take a Giannis and a Damian Lillard-led team? Absolutely. And so I think it can go one of 3 ways. You could really flip a coin on that because everybody's playing really good basketball. But if I'm a gambling man and if I'm a betting man, I'm putting my money on Dame Lillard and Giannis and Chris Middleton to back them up to come out of the East.
Take it.
Or to
I take
be
this
competing
bet
against the Celtics in the East.
All right, I'll take the field. You take the Bucks. This feels good to me. Let's just say Embiid comes back in time. Do you see a world in which, A, he comes back in time and it can be effective enough for Philly to make a push there in the end?
I think Philly's in a bad situation with this Joel Embiid thing because even if he does come back, you're talking about a time when teams are really gearing up to turn that corner, and that's going to be a time for him to just try to get his feet back in the water and get going again and try to work himself back in the lineup. And you know, by the time he comes back, they're going to be playing through Tyrese Maxey. And when he gets back, they're going to have to adjust the plan through him again. And so I think by that time, other teams are going to be rolling. They're going to understand what their positions are, what their roles are, and what's needed at that point. I think that puts Philly in a difficult situation.
Yeah, it's an all-around bummer coming out of Philadelphia. We had a ceremony. The Kobe statue, the first of 3, was unveiled. The first one is the number 8 pointing up at the sky. This is after the 81-point game against the Raptors in 2006. There'll be another one where he's wearing number 24, and then there'll be another where he's with Gigi. Lou, you played with him. How do you feel about this first one?
I think it's amazing. I think they did an incredible job. One of the better statues I've actually seen. Usually they don't look like the player. they're always a little off somewhat. But I think they got this. I think they got this right. And
wow.
You know, Kobe Bryant should be celebrated in the space that he's in. And I really like this I really like this tribute.
It's actually really good when you see them side by side. Shams, what stood out to you about the ceremony?
Well, I think it's just the pose that they used, and I think Kobe gave a lot of different poses you could have used. I mean, there was the one where he threw his chest out. There was the one where a few late in games when he would fist bump. I mean, there's a lot of moments. His fadeaway. I mean, they could have used so many different moments. Obviously in Dallas, Dirk Nowitzki got the fade. In Chicago, it's MJ with Air Jordan dunk. Like
yes.
They could have used a lot of different poses for Kobe, and I think using 81 is very fitting.
Yeah, so now I'm wondering, what do we think 24 will be, Lou? Do you have any in mind?
My guess is it would probably be that the last championship that he won, where he jumped up on a table, had his arms stretched out.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that could possibly be one. That's an iconic moment that we always see when they show the highlight reels of Kobe's career, and so I would lobby for. I'm sure it's already made, but I would lobby for that to be the next statue for the 24.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. As far as sometimes these are just really bad misses, and that first one looks really good. Rob Pelinka, when he found out that they were going to do 3 statues, thought that it made sense just because of the importance that Kobe has to the city of Los Angeles. Do you agree, Lou?
Yeah, very fitting. He had a Hall of Fame career in 8, had another Hall of Fame career in 24. I think both of those moments in his careers and both of those stretches of time should be celebrated. And, also with the third to include Gigi as well, I think that's very classy, and I think it's very fitting of the Lakers organization for them to do that. Very much well-deserved.
Yeah, I like that. Shams, we got some scoop from you. I mean, you weren't just all about the Super Bowl and parties. You were still working. Reporting that Spencer Dinwiddie is going to sign with the Lakers. Became official yesterday. What more can you tell us?
So Spencer Dinwiddie, he's joining the Lakers. It'll be a significant role that he's going to have. He's seriously considered several contending teams, including the Dallas Mavericks. They went to the Western Conference Finals with Spencer Dinwiddie a couple years ago. He played a big role at that point with Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson. And I think his heart was really in Dallas. There was a lot of back and forth between the Lakers and the Mavericks, but he picks the Lakers. And the Lakers really see this as a move that's bigger than any trade they could have gotten. And they're able to bring him in while keeping D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves together. They can use lineups interchangeably with all three, potentially have 2 of 3, all 3 guards potentially in the lineup. And Spencer Dinwiddie being 6'6", providing that defensive versatility, I think was important. Another guy that can manage the ball, handle the game well, and play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, make them better, feed off of them. And so the Lakers recruited him, especially on Friday night when they played the Pelicans. He sat with Rob Pelinka at the game. He met with ownership. Joey and Jesse busted the game as well. So there was a lot of recruitment that went into this. Spent time in the locker room. D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James, guys praising him, reaching out to him. So $1.5 million deal for the rest of the season for Spencer Dinwiddie in LA.
All right, Lou. You like the fit? You like this? What this does for them?
I do. I thought they needed some depth at the 3 for them, and also a shooting guard. And I think they've put themselves in a position to go out and get a guy that can go get a bucket for them, that can guard. That's going to give them depth at that position that I thought they needed. So moving forward, I think this works for the Lakers. I think this was a good fit and a good call from Rob Pelinka.
And Shams, do you have anything else on any of the other potential buyout candidates?
Kyle Lowry, he's decided to go sign with the 76ers. And this is something, it's a return home for him, but this is something where it allows him an opportunity now to play backup point guard, potentially start at different points in that Sixers rotation. They're still without Joel Embiid. And so when will he be back? At some point in that late March, early April window potentially. And you hope that when he's back to being 100%, being the MVP Joel Embiid, this team is still in the fight. This team is still in the race in the Eastern Conference. And Kyle Lowry can definitely bring a level of winning. He's done it at a high level, scoring, playing the right way. And so I know that's Lou's guy. So I'm very, very curious, Lou. What do you think about Kyle Lowry being back in Philly?
Yeah, I like this. I spoke with Kyle yesterday about it. He was really excited to be returning home. Obviously he's a Philly guy. He had an opportunity to go to a couple different teams, and he just felt like this was the best fit for him. This gave him the best opportunity to compete at the highest level, to compete at this juncture in his career that made him most comfortable. And so he thought this was the best fit for him. He waited it out. He was in Miami this entire time just waiting to see what scenario could work out for him, and he landed in Philadelphia. He's excited about it, so I'm excited for him. I think this gives them another ball handler, another guy that can put Tyrese Maxey naturally at the 2 position where he can run off screens and do what he needs to do to win basketball games.
Good for him. Happy for him. All right, we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, more Run It Back on a Monday. See ya.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, yeah.
So we had a whole bunch of interviews during Super Bowl week. A lot of NFL players came through and they wanted to talk hoops. One of our favorites happened to be the rookie phenom for the LA Rams, Puka Nacua. Here he is.
Puka Nacua, what a catch! Oh man! Touchdown! Will break free me.
We get to talk basketball. I love that.
Yeah, we do. We get to talk basketball. By the way, in case you were living under a rock, best highlights, best name, Puka Nacua had a hell of a breakout year. Okay, no, that's not a press conference. I mean, look, that's a valid question, but we got you here. We're going to talk some hoops. We'll get to some football at some point as well. But at Utah, You played high school ball?
100%.
Tell me about your game, your position.
I honestly, not a lot of tall people in Utah. I think I might have played the 4 at
In the whole
6'1".
state.
Yeah, so
scrappy.
Yeah, exactly. But I like to say I'm versatile. I got some shooting out. Defense is probably my strong suit. I play with speed, but basketball, I play a wide receiver. I got lateral agility. I don't know how consistent my shot is, but I'll knock it down at the free throw line for sure.
Okay.
There you go.
Now I looked up,
Count on the gimmies. I'll get the gimmies.
I looked up your high school stats. You had,
wait, don't say it.
you had a handful of games with 20-plus points. Did you, in high school, have dreams to aspiring NBA player, or was it always football?
Shoot, I played for XM Elite. I played in the Adidas Gauntlet and stuff like that. I wanted to play AU basketball. Everybody always told me I was better at football, so I stopped putting the extra time to get shots up in the gym. I was like, let me get on the football field.
Yeah. Nice.
And I'm not 6'7" either, so they're like, hey, you can't play the 4 for us. You're 6'1". And I was like, all right, that makes sense, coach. Like, that's valid.
Makes sense. And has basketball or any of that training or your childhood plan, has that helped you on the football field at all?
100%. Like, I think as a receiver, press release, like releases at the line of scrimmage, like that's your crossover, your double up. Like I try to get Coop to play with me all the time because like those are the same movements. Like especially running like some of our pivot routes, like our return routes, like if you got a good basketball pivot, like you know how to put your foot in the ground, like you can run routes for sure.
For sure. If you lace them up right now,
Here we go.
give you 30 minutes in an NBA basketball game, how many points you putting on the board?
I think I could get 15 for sure.
Here we go.
30 minutes?
Here we
30
go.
minutes? If I'm gonna play, do I get subbed out?
Okay, no. So it's 30 minutes is yours. You think?
How you getting them? You making jumpers?
No. I'm fast. I can jump. I can dunk for sure. Like,
Still, wow.
yeah.
I mean, you're right.
Still?
Yeah, you're right.
What are you talking about?
I think I'm shooting left. Maybe if I get a wide open corner 3, I'll take one. But like I gotta, it's gotta come in the rhythm of the game.
You think I can catch a pass in the NFL?
Yeah, 100%.
I like that. All right,
See?
cool.
At least he sees it both ways, though.
He good with me.
But you give somebody a heads, you go, the quarterback, he's got to make it easy for you. But you got it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I know what y'all got. I've seen the lateral movement. Y'all be doing that.
Look how happy Lou is right now.
Finally.
Yeah.
That's 2 days in a row. Somebody said I can play in the
I'm
NFL.
6'9", bro. Like you tell, like that's why I got Joe coming in here next.
Oh, my
I'm like,
Lord.
if you just throw a jump ball, I get the 5-yard bump, I get the physicality of it, but like I'm so much taller than a cornerback. Like I can't just catch a lob, like a jump
like
ball.
red zone stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the physicality of maybe like contact balance would be a little bit different. When you have pads on, you're a little bit heavier.
I'd
stuff,
struggle with all
There's
that.
that.
Yeah, so like I think that's a consideration. But like you guys go high point to rebound you take a rebound, that's going to high point of ball.
It's also illegal to touch me when I go for that rebound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
minimal contact.
You cannot touch me when I go get that rebound.
Yeah, I guess that's part of the hard thing. And then landing's not
Landing's
easy.
going to be a problem. It's
Now,
gonna suck.
growing up in Utah, does that automatically make you a Jazz fan?
No, I was actually born out here in Las Vegas, so I got to pick my sports team, so that was the nice part of growing up in Las Vegas. I did become slowly a Jazz fan, but I love watching basketball anywhere. So
Who were your guys growing up? Like,
Yeah.
you love watching play?
I'm a LeBron stan, like LeGoat James. Like I'm out there in LA now, so like I'm at the side. I love watching him, but I love Russell Westbrook. I love watching him play too. The energy, the compassion, the passion he plays with, and he's just going full speed all the time. I feel like when people ask like what it looks like when I play football, I think I would be very similar to Russell Westbrook.
Speaking of Bron, earlier this year he called you Puka Doncic.
I mean,
Big time compliment coming from him. Have you had an opportunity to meet him?
No, I've been to a couple games. I've been courtside. Like they played the Knicks. They ended up losing, but he saw me right behind like the courtside seats, and he's like, "Hey, you caught the touchdown." He tweeted at me after the Browns game. But man, I'm telling you, I'm jumping up and down. They're losing the game. Everybody's like, "What are you doing over here?" I'm like, "LeBron James talking to me."
You made eye contact.
Yeah, I was like, "He saw me."
how did you not meet at that one? That feels like the one that should have been.
I know they ended up losing, so yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. If one of y'all would have came to the game,
NBA is different than football. We play 82 times, 5 times a week. We get over it fast.
Get over. By the way, the video that went pretty viral of you're shopping with your girlfriend, right? And by the way, nothing wrong with this. I think most of us who are bored while somebody's shopping have done this, but you're busy watching highlights of LeBron.
That was the night LeBron hit the game-winning free throws against the Warriors.
You look miserable, by the way.
I know. What kind of shopping?
You're like, why the hell am I here?
I was shopping for her today that day, so I wasn't miserable, but it wasn't my shopping.
Good answer.
Puka, those other days, you give her your credit card.
Oh, come on.
You say, "Dear,
See you at home, babe."
day.
I do be playing the game, but I get my gaming at the late night hours. The sweats be on in the middle of the day, so that's why I stay out of that lobby.
Wait. How long have y'all been together?
2 years.
he's still got to
You still got to do shit like that.
Yeah, he has to try.
We've entered a new world as I got into the NFL. That's why.
It's like the whole thing. There's a guy on the Warriors, Santos. I don't know if you've seen this dude, but a lot of people think he's your doppelganger. I don't know if you agree. It's kind of weird when somebody else tells you that somebody. But
I got my hair up right now, especially a guy with the clean shaved face. Like
it's kind of there.
If they need somebody to come off the bench and get 5 rebounds for them, use 5 fouls
and 15 points.
I'm telling you, I could run up and down the court and get layups.
Dude, this would be the year they need you.
I could do it. I would set great ball screens for Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. You can come pick and pop anytime you want, dog.
There you go.
Got you.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, it kind of does look like
Puka, let's talk football for a little bit. You obviously had one of the best rookie seasons of all time.
All time.
Congrats on that. And it was fun to watch. What was your expectation going into it? You know, you weren't a first-round pick. So how did this happen so quickly?
Shoot, I guess the environment. The environment I landed in definitely allowed me to thrive in it. But my older brothers went undrafted in the NFL, so to be drafted was like, I just want to make sure I make the team. I'm gonna do everything I can to make the team. And then I remember they threw me a pass in OTAs before we got the pads on, and like I just remember thinking like that was such a clean catch, and I transitioned. I made a move on the safety, and I was like, holy cow, like. That it clicked in my head. Like, I felt like, it was a moment of like, what I'm doing is working. So just one day at a time from there on.
That's awesome.
I was a late second-round pick. Draft day was kind of an experience for me. It didn't really go my way, but I was 17 years old. You were a 5th-round pick. Did you keep tabs on every receiver that was picked before you?
I love that.
Do you have that chip on your shoulder?
I definitely do have that chip on my shoulder, but there was no sore feeling. I'm a competitor at heart, so I know like when we go out there and we're in between those white lines, I'm gonna let you know that if you didn't pick me on your other team, that was a mistake. But I feel like I landed in the right spot. I'm blessed to be where I'm at. But I know the guys who went before.
What's that feeling like to finally get that call, that relief?
Man, it was. I was sweating bricks, man. I had 5 other teams call me the day before, like Saturday was the day of like the 5th round, the last couple of picks, and like they're like, hey, make sure you're watching. I'm like, I've been watching the whole week, dog. What you mean? I'm just sitting here like, oh,
ready when you are.
I'm like, dog, what do I say to that? Like,
okay, that Lions situation. That's a tough game to go into because America had fallen in love with them. Y'all knew Matthew Stafford was going to get booed, right? Like, nobody was kidding themselves.
No, yeah, we knew that was coming.
Come on. I mean, I'm like, look, I'm a fan first. I boo things. That's what we do. But I'm reading things. I'm like, does he think they're not going to boo him? How was it? Was it weird?
It was that as a competitor, like and a sports fan, like that was the best environment to be.
Yeah.
Like to go in away territory and have everybody rooting against you, and to feel like, okay, the 53 guys we got in the Rams uniform, like that's who we're rocking with, and we're going balls to the ball.
You can say it. This idiot says F every day, right?
It's true.
But it was a crazy environment.
It was fun to watch. I mean, it was just a tough, and you guys got hot. Like this is not the Rams team that started the season, the end of the season, because I think a lot of people thought, oh, nope, they don't have it this year. What was the change?
I don't know. I guess I don't know what it was like in the year before, but I know when we came back from the bye, just I feel like our team really connected. I don't know. I think everybody got some time away from each other, so sometimes that's actually nice during the season. We got that little a week away, and then we came back and everybody had a singular focus. I feel like we all plugged into the same outlet. We're all tuned into the same channel, and we were able to start moving in sync.
All right, you brought these. Tell us what these are.
Yeah, this is Pepsi Zero Sugar Wild Cherry.
Beautiful logo.
That's right. The red and the blue complement each other so well.
Does it mix well with tequila?
It does actually. So that's why I brought them.
There we go.
But
that's why I brought them for you.
This week on Saturday, I'm gonna be out in front of the Horseshoe. Sip City Secrets. So if you guys got some secrets, something you need to get off your mind, you can come bring it over there to the big Pepsi vault. We'll be out there.
What?
When you confess and share your secret, right?
Are you gonna give us
the cherry is nice. You gotta dabble in it.
Hold up. People are going to go to this
soda,
and
Chandler.
give their secrets?
Yep, confess your secrets. It's going to be written in invisible.
Zero
you
sugar
don't have to worry about like anybody. It's going to go in the vault as well.
Yeah.
So
It's like a confession.
Yeah, it's a confession. You get it, and it'll be locked up in a way, and then you'll have a chance when you confess your secret. It doesn't got to be anything too crazy. I know we're here in Vegas.
You got how much time?
You gotta talk to him.
But you'll get a code, and you'll have a chance to win some Pepsi gear and some Super Bowl gear as well. And then also, I'll be hanging out there if you guys want to come and hang out. I don't know, like I'm sure there's a lot of other things going on too.
He doesn't have the kind of time in one day for all his.
You know what? I finally got some sleep last night, Puka. So I'm actually feeling fresh.
That's
right
good.
now.
I love to
feel
do that.
good. I worked out this morning.
What?
I worked out this morning.
Who are you?
Are you at the Baccarat
I hadn't
table
worked
today?
out in months.
You know what? I played with Saquon 2 nights ago. He taught me how to play. And this guy is an absolute freak. You played with him? Or,
No, I haven't.
Oh, God.
absolute maniac on offensive amounts of money, and he didn't win.
And by the way,
At least you
I
guys
don't
had a good time, right?
tell everyone
Anyway,
the
well, I'm not
secret.
saying the value. I'm
Yeah.
just saying what he started with, he doesn't have that currently.
Puka, it's been a pleasure. You were absolute joy to watch this season. Good luck next season. It's just going to get better.
Yeah, I hope
That's
so.
weird to say out loud. I love that.
Run it back, yeah. Run it up, the run it back, yeah, yeah. Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up.
Got a fun one in the league tonight, Lou. At least on paper we do. We've got Bucks, we've got Nuggets. Talk to me first about the key matchup in this one.
For me, the key matchup is going to be Jamal Murray and Damian Lillard for this
All right.
one. Looking at, Jamal Murray didn't play great his last game. They've had a few days off since the last time they've played. I'm sure he's ready to get back on the court and have a better outing. And then obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks with their struggles, a lot of this is gonna be corrected by the play of Damian Lillard. He's gonna have to lead them and Giannis as well. But I like this. I like the matchup of Jamal Murray and Damian Lillard to really go at it tonight. And I think whoever gets the best of that matchup is going to give themselves the best opportunity to come out with a win tonight.
It's an interesting one because neither team has really been crushing on the defensive side of things. So we'll start with Milwaukee. Struggling defensively. Tell me what you think Jokic's stat line is going to look like at the end of this one.
Well, he has a triple-double no matter who's out there, so
Yeah, he does.
I think he has another triple-double night. Like I said, these guys, they've been able to be off for the last 2 or 3 days since their last basketball game. Going into the All-Star break, these type of breaks, these type of lulls in your schedule is really important. It's really instrumental for you to, to be healthy going into the break. And, for games like this, when you got big matchups, they're going to have fresh legs. And so I really like Jokic over 27.5, and he's going to have at least 10 assists and 10 rebounds to go along with it.
And on the other side, how about Giannis? He's going to have a big night?
I think Giannis has a big night as well. I think he's still geeked up on his brother Thanasis, the crazy highlight that he had this past week. That was something to see. He was really excited for his brother. So I think that was the last time I seen him play basketball. So I'm ready for him to get back out on the floor. I think Giannis has a big night as well.
All right, Nuggets won the first meeting. Who wins tonight?
Nuggets won the first. This one's in Milwaukee. Always like home teams at this time of the year.
Oof.
I always like the home team at this time of the year. So I'm gonna go with Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee to protect home court, get a big win against the Nuggets, a very much needed win. I think out of these two teams, Milwaukee is a little bit more desperate for a win. So give me Milwaukee at home.
That's fair. That's fair. We've got a big one in the West as well. Timberwolves and Clippers. First, tell me about the matchup we need to keep our eye on.
I'm excited to see this one. This might be a game that I watch tonight. So, for me to watch, the key matchup I need to see is going to be Anthony Edwards and Kawhi Leonard.
Ooh.
I think those guys are gonna do 2 All-Star guys. I think they're gonna duke it out. This is a week before All-Star weekend. Again, these wins right here going into that break are so important because you want to go in with feeling good. You want that momentum. As competitive people, we don't want to lose a game and then take a week off until we can get back on the court to try to redeem ourselves. And so going into that break, these games are really important. I know how Kawhi looks at these matchups. I know how Coach Ty Lue looks at these matchups. And so I really like a matchup of Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Edwards really duking it out. I think Kawhi has more firepower with him, so I give the Clippers the edge for this one tonight.
All right, Clippers winning tonight at home as well. I like it. I like this one. I like that game as well. You better watch that game. That's like the best one of the night. We got a little prop party. It's just you and me today, Lou. You and me. So you're up first for the T-Wolves Clippers. What do you got?
Like I said, the Clippers have been playing some of the best basketball in the league. Outside of the Cleveland Cavaliers put together one of the best months. So I don't see them losing a lot of games, especially with knowing their mindset going into All-Star break like I keep mentioning. I've been in those locker rooms. I know the points of emphasis. So I like Clippers here with the money line, and I like Kawhi to be over 19.5. Big night for him.
I feel like we're both feeling Clippers on this one. My prop party also leaning very Clippers friendly. Paul George over 20.5 points. James Harden with over 2.5 threes made. I was rocking the Montana jersey last night. We don't need to talk about it. I just thought that was interesting. I didn't know he was a fan.
He's a big time 49ers fan. But look, can we talk about the Super Bowl? Very entertaining football game.
We will.
I enjoyed it.
I loved it, and I'm glad it was a good, close game. We'll talk about it also when we come back, because we're going to take a look back at the week that was. It killed us all when Run It Back returns.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up.
Don't these idiots talk about basketball? Yes, we do. But today we're going to talk about everything.
Football helps basketball.
Basketball is honestly my favorite sport.
I played basketball in high school.
Were you good?
My game was comparable to Baron Davis.
Young D Rose.
I was like the athlete baller.
I had sneaky bounce.
Sneaky about that. That's real.
Right?
Yeah. Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Is someone I looked at like I want to be that guy. And then Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook references.
Everybody Russell Westbrook.
Because it's football.
I gotta hit you with this counter move, try to make you fall, get the crowd. Ooh.
As Ja Morant. Did you know Ja?
I had to skip practice one time just to go to the game.
Really?
To be honest with you.
Watch him.
Really? Do you remember him stealing money from the Memphis Grizzlies at all?
Why do you always gotta bring that up?
I didn't know if it's on my list.
George Niang and Tyrese were the first two guys I met.
Did he dress weird back then, or is this new style thing with Tyrese? Like,
So is LeBron your GOAT, or is MJ the GOAT?
LeBron, easy.
When LeBron came back, that's when it really got lit.
LeGoat James, like, I'm jumping up and down. They're losing the game. Everybody's like, what are you doing over here? I'm like, LeBron James talking to me. Eye contact. Yeah, I was like, he's so old. I was like,
You can't get to Mike when you don't have the championship that Mike has had.
30 minutes in an NBA basketball game. How many points you putting on the board?
I think I could get 15 for sure.
here we go.
30 minutes.
Here we
30
go.
minutes?
I'm playing the Detroit Pistons. I have a nice 15.
Jackson.
Nice 15.
I love
Jackson.
I'm coming off the pick and roll, and I'm spraying.
If PJ Tucker can sit in the corner and just shoot a wide open three, I can do it. I think I'm only getting like 5 points, 4 points.
See, I like him.
I mean, I won't say I won't get buckets.
Right.
But to play 82 games and play in the NBA, I'm not that guy.
They need somebody to come off the bench and get 5 rebounds for them. Use 5 fouls.
And 15 points.
Yeah,
And NBA players play in the NFL.
You can run a slant route, catch the ball.
And then get out of bounds.
You can, bro.
I'm not going in the middle of that.
They will break the body. And
Did you play football?
Never. I don't like contact.
I'm 6'10".
Here we go.
You folded.
You can't just throw it up like a lob.
No,
you can't
bro.
post up.
But if you tackled him, how many
fold
days
him.
before he'd get
I'ma
out of bed?
fold him.
Like I was gonna say,
I'd retire.
He gonna have bro real.
You're the quarterback.
you better hurry up. We have
And I'm gonna run a route, and I'm gonna see if I can moss you after the show.
Run it back.
So that's happening after the show. Check out social media. That does it for us. Peace.
And then it happened, Lou. You guys actually went back there and played around a bit. How'd it go?
It went well. I didn't catch a ball. Joe Hayden turned into Joe Hayden against me.
Dang it.
I'm not 6'10" like Chandler. So but I did find my position. I realized I was a better quarterback than I was a receiver. So I put that ball in a perfect spot. Chandler was able to get a good highlight out of it, but it didn't go my way when I tried to catch a ball. But I had fun. Shout out to Joe Hayden.
I love it. I love it. Shams, next year we're getting the trade deadline moved so you can spend the whole week with us.
I had FOMO watching that.
We missed you, but we're back. And now we're 5 days a week. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.